that we play in Christmas days. And I would, I was learning, and probably I forget the next day, but then he teach me again, and but that was my introduction to, like, getting closer to the, like, a real instrument. So it was the age between 7, 8, and the bass was basically my hands at the age of 9. Yeah.
Great. Man, we already have one of your listeners saying, "Hello, my little brother. I'm here enjoying your interview." Maria.
That's my sister.
That's just oh, so she's had to make sure that you tell the right story, huh?
Basically. I always mention her to because she was into classical music. So because her, that's why I get into classical music as well, believe or not. So I always mention here or everywhere I go, they ask me how you start music. That's the way I always start, like, boom. I start with my father and my sister. I remember my sister playing Beethoven and Mozart in her room, and I was like in the door like this. And I was thinking, what is this sad music? I'm gonna cry, And then that was tape cassettes. So I was confiscating her tape cassette and putting my Walkman. And I was going to by myself in the backyard, and I started listening Beethoven, Shostakovich. She had the famous one, New World Symphony by Jack. So, and I was like transposing myself by the age of 8. I was a little kid.
Wow.
I was like, probably my other friends look at me, what's wrong with this guy? Like, I'm floating, I'm looking this. I was always putting pictures and movies through sounds. I always got that thing, my mom say all the time, just always, I was like painting too, in piece of paper, through sounds and colors, I always look the stars at night too, I mean, inspiration. That's all. Right. That was me, so
creative inspiration.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Because the average person, we're such a visual society that when even with music, people don't say, oh, I'm going to hear this concert. They say, oh, I'm going to see this concert. So everything is visual, but at a very young age, you are already connecting sounds to images and colors and stuff like that. It's a different sense. Not everybody can do that. And I was one of those kids also, because I would hear things and I thought everybody was hearing what I was hearing. And it wasn't, I was saying, did you hear that? No, we didn't hear that. So it was interesting. But so your sister is one of your biggest influences, and your father got you on the guitar.
Yes. And my brother too. I have an older brother. He's actually active guitar player more in the pop music scene in Puerto Rico. So thanks to him, I got into also like heavy metal, thrash metal, punk, stuff like that, which I end up playing too. We gotta navigating all styles.
Oh yeah. You gotta be versatile.
Yeah.
So you played guitar. Then when did you pick up the bass? When did you actually get
like by 10, 11, the electro bass? My dad bought me my first bass, and then right there, because I have the little bit knowledge of music theory music, and some scale that my brother, my sister, and my dad, they were teaching me by ear. So when I joined the music school, at least I was familiar with music. I was no like what is a note, what is a quarter note. I was familiar before through my sister also having books. I mean, first time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, this is an alien language. What is this? Those little sticks with balls. Like, what does that mean? So so when I enjoyed the music school in Ponce, Puerto Rico, with my first teacher, which was Irving Cancel, and I was like, it was connection, man. I put the instrument, and it was like we meant to be together, man. I mean, it was so natural for me learning. The process was so fast. So I was learning too fast. Let's put it that way. I need to go back up a little bit, because I was like, dude, you're going too fast, So it's not my fault, I love this instrument, so, and I remember studying in a public school, in a grades of middle school and high school. So after I finished that school, I was taking a cab and going to the where this music school was, and I was, believe or not, I was taking the bass in the public school transportation, and I started warming up. So I was not afraid at all. I mean, I was like, I love this. I mean, people probably look at me, look at this kid, having playing with no sound the bass. So I was like passionate already by that age with music. Not even later when my teacher started giving information. That's what my brain went like boom, explode with music. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's great, man. That's great. And while you was growing up, did you know the other musicians from there, like Henry Cole and David Sanchez and those guys? Were they part of your upbringing as well?
Well, I mean, like in that period, I know David Sanchez through albums and record, but Henry no, because Henry was in the West Side. So we met Henry and me. We met at the conservatory when we
Okay.
get together. That's the first time we look each other. Oh, I'm from the West, and oh, I'm from the South. But in that period, I met great musicians. Believe or not, I met the one and only Papo Lucas, the director of La Sonora Ponceña
Mm-hmm.
in Ponce, because he come to that music school many times to do master classes.
Okay.
And I was lucky because also in that school at afternoon they a lot of salsa bands they come to rehearse. So I
Mm-hmm.
saw half of part of the Gran Combo like rehearsing.
Oh, nice.
My teacher have their band, like a teacher's band. I was staying
Mm.
later just to check it out in the corner. And wow, man, this is just the beginning. So later when I moved to the north, which is what I went to the conservatory. That's what I basically connect in person with all those guys. Like
Right.
David, Henry, Miguel Zenón, Esel Gomez, all those
Mm-hmm.
guys that you can read, in my bio. I just met them right there, boom, one by one. Yeah.
Right. That's great, man. And so when you went to the conservatory, were you studying? You were still playing electric at that time. Did you pick up the upright, and were you studying classical, or what was your foundation at that point?
Well, I mean, those years that I was at the music school in Ponce, Irving Cancel, he was teaching me a lot of electric bass, a lot of harmony, jazz improvisation, but also the beginning of the upright bass. So he basically teach me the most fundamental stuff in an acoustic bass, like which is the positions, the bowing. But he was not his forte. So, but at the same time, he's saying me, man, you got the talent, so you should try audition to the conservatory, and then getting that thing more serious, the bowing.
It's the one in San Juan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I did it. I went there and I did audition and I passed, and I started learning the famous bowing, how to play it, interpret this classical music in acoustic bass with Federico Silva, which was my first teacher. He passed away, unfortunately, on 2006, and he was the first year, of course, the symphony, Puerto Rico Symphony Orchestra, and that's why basically I divide studying classical music, and at the same time on the side I was keep taking electric bass lessons, because I love both at the same time. It was hard for me to pick to live. You know what I mean? It's hard, man. I
Well,
love both.
you live in two worlds, and I've witnessed it myself. I've seen you do both on one gig, so
That's hard.
it's hard. But there's some guys that can really just some guys just focus on classical and electric, and some guys classical acoustic, and some guys just do the electric. Bob Cranshaw is a perfect example of man. He built a career playing jazz on electric bass and had an
Yeah.
amazing sound.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you require more work and more focus, because believe me, man, being my recital, like when I'm about to play just acoustic piano and bass, just playing those pieces. If you sound out of tune, man, it sounds like you killing a cow, man. So I training for all the process. Those 4 years, I training, how to interpret it and be relaxed. Which is, believe or not, those classical training help me in what I'm doing now. For any kind of show, I just basically say, man, if I did that back in the days, this is easy, because
right.
I was playing the hardest music, classical, baroque, romanticism, contemporary, and the bass by myself. And if you make the sound singing, the instrument singing, so you're good. And I believe or not, until today, I keep practicing, because the bow is like something. If you leave it in the corner, man, the sound go away. Believe me, ask all those double bass players that man.
So are you a French bow or German bow?
French bow.
Your
Yeah,
French bow. Okay, all right.
yeah,
Can,
yeah.
can you share with our audience the difference between bowing with French style and bowing with a German style?
Sure. I mean, like, basically, the as you know, the French bow, it come basically with the extension of the violin.
Right. So you're
Back.
playing with your arm more like, yeah, exactly.
So because if you go back in the Baroque era, you see the viola de gamba, they were playing already like this with
Mm.
this type of bow, and that's how basically Germans copying that
So the
specific.
German came this way because it's a bigger instrument. Yeah.
And we always have when you're in the classical world, classical players, they always make a fun of people they play German bows, and basically German bow players make a fun of French bows because they say we're too delicate, but and then you guys are rough because you have more power to hit the strings, so
Right,
and
right.
that's why you see those orchestra aggressive, gong 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 gong, but
Mm.
I think it's the same because you can find the same powerful of weight, no using your muscles, but your weight and
Mm.
and the French bow, and you make the same sound. You can make the same big amount of sound being relaxed. So, but it takes time. It's not easy,
Right.
believe me. I studied with 2 professors, and it's not easy. So, but you can do it. You can do it. But basically, that's different. Like the technique of the bow is you hold it in this way, and
Mm.
I can grab the German bow and I can make a couple scales, but but I can play it because I'm gonna be rough, like this. So
Right, right, right.
I'm more like like this, more relaxed, more cello type of vibe, So
Right.
yeah, more
So
melodic.
when you're playing, like when you're playing straight ahead jazz and you walk in and you have a solo or even on a ballad and you go to bow that solo, it's like all of your classical training comes back. And that's a technique in itself because I've seen guys on gigs pull out the bow and then like afterwards, like, yeah, I needed to shed more before I did that. It's another concept.
I
It's just like
see.
the pizzicato, being that you got to spend as much time bowing as you do,
It's true.
plucking the
It,
strings. Yeah.
it's true. It's true. It's like I mean, we know, as you know more than me, like bass player, that they're incredible piece, but they pick the bow and it sounds like kind of hard to listen. Even what they play, I know they're trying to play some basically killing amazing bebop lines, but it's just the sound is not there, so it's hard to listen. It sounds like it's scratching the string, like
Right.
But and people say always, yeah, but it's because back in the days we have those ghost strings, and now we more contemporary. Say, no, I'm sorry, go back. Not even mention Paul Chamber, but you have Steve Swallow. I
Yeah.
mean, like, hello, these guys, like they picking the bow and Slam
Ray
Stewart,
Brown. Ray
those
Brown. I
guys.
mean, yeah, all those guys. Yeah.
I hear the notes, I don't hear
Oh,
like fake.
but I got one for you, Cachao.
Oh, yeah, that classical training. He coming with a
And
classical training.
Cachao, I would go to SB's when Cachao used to play there, and he would hold the bow in his hand while he's playing the tumbao and then solo and then go back, and he never let the bow down. I've never
Yeah,
seen anybody else do that. Now
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
whole, and it never interfere with his pizzicato, and he bowed and pits and yeah.
yeah. But Cachao was also the first chair at the symphony orchestra back in Cuba, so it
Yeah,
was
okay.
like it was taken serious that then on the classical music. So I respect that. I respect that when I see bass players. Like I can name a few. You see like John Patitucci. He got
Mhm.
those both cool. You have Christian McBride. Like he studied classical bass in Philadelphia. There's some guys there that I respect because
Kenny
they
Davis. Kenny Davis
Kenny
also.
David, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That I saw in the interview last time. He was talking
yeah,
about that. I mean, and he not even he
yeah,
played incredible electric bass too. So I
yeah.
give it credit because man, when you take three directions, of course, more door for you for gigs and works. But
Right.
it require more time of
You
training
gotta
and
you gotta
practice.
be committed. Yeah, you gotta give up other things to put into that, but it plays off because you become very very incredible and proficient on your instrument and become more versatile and marketable also because people hire you because you could you've played with me and the gig is upright electric. It
Yeah,
requires that and sometimes I may call someone and well man I only want to play upright. I don't even want to mess with that. And it, you know, so
Right, right, right.
it's a thing. So you become more marketed and more versatile. But that's great, man.
Yeah.
And you do them both well. So kudos to you,
Thank
man.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
great. So I wanna jump from Puerto Rico to New York. So how did you or when did you decide to make the move to New York?
Well, it was 2004 when I finished my recital. That was like basically playing in Puerto Rico with everybody there, and I was trying talking to, I basically always say that David Sanchez also become my mentor, because all the time I was calling him. He was back in the day, he was living in Brooklyn actually, because now he live in Atlanta. So but I was calling him and just asking for tips, what should I
Hmm.
do. He said, well, man, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people leave their country, but they forget something, which is their folklore. you know I know you trying to learn a new style, in this case, me, I was trying to get this language called jazz. So, but at the same time, when he would say, yeah, I know it's important, because that's New York, back in the day, that was New York. So you're going to be in the right place to learn. But do you know the folklore very well, before you move? Do you know your roots?
Right,
So I
right.
did, because I was playing. I remember my dad, my mom taking me, because I don't even have a license. I was like 11, like playing gigs with basically folklores, cuatro players from Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
and by ear, professionals, and playing festivals, like and it's by ear, so you gotta follow the seis, playing some seis cagüeños,
Mhm.
seis fajardeño. It's a lot of story with that, but also in the bomba music and the plena music
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and salsa music. So I was trying to play as much as I can locally there, because I need to grab that thing. So when I'm here, when I'm in New York, people are not gonna be like, "Oh, look at this Puerto Rican. He doesn't know how to play plena." That's embarrassment. Because it's like,
Yeah.
man. So I was trying to basically grab as much as can, and then by 2005, I made the decisions to jump in. And let's give it a try. Let's give it a
Mhm.
try. And I have some connections here. The first guy I called, it was Angel Papo Vasquez, trombone
Mhm.
player, famous
Mhm.
trombone player. And I call him and say, I mean, I just moved to New York. And he say, really? Where you live? And say, I was living in Inglewood back then. And I say, cool, good to know. I'm probably gonna call you for some gigs later. And then the second guy I called was Branford Marsalis. You know,
Okay.
yeah, because I met Branford back in Puerto Rico, and he said, if you move someday, call me. So I call him, man.
Mhm.
And Papo Vasquez was the first one getting called for a gig in Brooklyn. Actually, I got lost in the subway. I mean, I really got super lost. And I was basically late to the Sancho because I don't know what train I took. I mean, everything looked so hard for me with that map. Open that map in the middle of the street.
Right,
So,
right.
and then Branford called me after for a recording session that we did back in the days. The one, it was Avatar Studio.
Avatar
That
Studios, yeah.
he gave me the opportunity, say, man, I want you to record in this album, for Alvin Batiste and
Mhm.
Brother Malone, Henry Riley, those guys. So,
Yeah.
so I was like, man, I was 24, so I was scared, and I mean, I always say, I probably told you that before, because I wish with that knowledge that I have now, I could go back and
Go
forth in
back.
my life.
I think
But
we all have those moments.
but they
I
happen for a reason, right? So
I,
yeah.
yeah, but it's just all part of the journey, Yeah, I remember when you first came to town. I heard this guy from Puerto Rico, and it took us a while to connect, and we
Absolutely.
really connected through Elio.
Yeah,
Really,
I remember. I
yeah.
remember.
But Ruben Rogers always, oh man, anytime Ruben couldn't make a gig, you know, I would always, in my ensemble, I always ask the guys, well, tell me who you would recommend. You know the chair, you know the book, you
Right,
have
right.
friends out, and you were like one of the calls. You, Kenny Davis, Eric Wheeler is, but it's like He's like,
Man.
"Oh, Ricky," and it went on for like maybe 4 years before we were actually able to play because you were always busy.
Well, yeah, I call part of life too. Like I
Yeah,
said, we go
yeah,
like this and we meet again.
yeah.
But I always think like I always say, man, I wish I like Chick Corea, so because I ended up playing with Chick too at that age, but I wasn't
Mhm.
that ready. I
Well,
was
yeah,
still,
you are because he wouldn't have called if you weren't. So it's one of the things, because I feel that same way. That I was fortunate to have some really good gigs when I came to town, and I always say that. And what I did over the Christmas break was I went back to like the first like 20 albums I made and listened to them. And I actually smiled because the first time I listened to them, I was like, damn, And now, 20 years later, it's like you go back and you listen to them and it's like, it wasn't that bad.
yeah. I mean, there's some albums back in Puerto Rico that I go like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to listen to. But I mean, it's about not about the playing, because we know the instrument. It's about the knowledge of the
But
music.
now, yeah.
You
But
need to
look,
listen more.
but if you wasn't thinking like that, man, I got to improve. I got to get better. I could have done this better. The attention to details and that hunger for being a perfectionist, to wanting to be better, got you to where you are now. So it's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
which is one of the reason, when I jump in this city, the crazy city, like I say, I'm hungry for this music. I have a goal that I'm gonna play with those. I already have goal in my brain that I'm gonna play with this guy.
Right.
Like basically a lot of friends they were like, I don't think so. I said, oh, watch me. I was like hungry, transcribing, going to gigs every night. Not even talking about my first winter in New York. Oh my God, that was horrible. Uh, Hitting jam sessions until 5 in the morning. When like, but it pay off, man. I have to say,
Yeah.
it pay
Yeah.
off because I can't believe how many great albums and many tours that I have done so far. Because that was it. When I moved to New York, I didn't went to school. I finished in Puerto Rico. I didn't. I just went like I'm going to the street to play, man.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
people were calling me in Puerto Rico, "Oh, you're crazy. You're not gonna make it."
Mm.
They were like, "Oh," and my man say, "Don't listen to them. Just go.
Yeah.
Believe in
Stay.
yourself. Believe in yourself."
Let's stay
And
focused. Right?
stay focused, and of course the moments they're gonna come and then you're gonna feel like depressed and then you're gonna feel like no inspiration at all, and then the money, the rent, it's everything, man. We're not from here, man. You know what I mean. We move
Oh
here
yeah. Yeah.
and we're trying to deal with this,
Mhm.
and I'm thank God that I've been living, for quite a time here in New York, just playing the bass.
Yeah. I had a mentor, and I agree with you. I had a mentor, A.T. Arthur Taylor drummer, when he moved back from Paris in the late '90s. I lived a block away from him, and I used to be practicing. I lived on the second floor, and he would walk by, and I'd be practicing all out, during the day. And I would every once in a while, I would hear something and stop and he would be downstairs for like sometimes for like 20 minutes buzzing me. He said, "Man, you got to give them drums a break, man." He said, "But I'm glad you're hungry because the minute you stop being hungry, that's when everything disappears." He said, "You got to stay hungry." He said, "But," and then he was very gracious. He took a liking to me and hooked me up with some other gigs. But like you
Beautiful.
mentioned, coming from the Caribbean, from that diaspora, the Afro-Caribbean diaspora, not being part, and not growing up in American society, we have
Yeah.
a different level of hunger
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a different. It's a cultural thing too because you already grew up in a musical culture that you have that stabilized. That you could go back there and go play that music anytime you want. But coming here with that knowledge brings a whole nother thing. And I've always looked at the guys. I remember being at Rutgers in college when David Sanchez came there, and I think he did like a year or two, and then he was like, "Man, I'm going in the street. Same things. I gotta go play. I gotta go play." And Adam
Yeah.
Cruz was there, and a number of guys. And so it's a different mindset because we know what we have to do to get the information we need. And you have done an amazing job navigating. And I know it haven't been easy, but you've done an amazing job navigating because when I'm in conversations and your name come up, it's just none but respect, man. And I
Uh,
remember the first rehearsal you did with us. You like sight read all the music and all the cast of the band was like, okay, cool. Like
I
nobody else
try,
has ever
brother.
done. stop us and be like, stop. Can we go back from the top again? You was like, let's go. Come on,
That's
So
right, brother. I remember that rehearsal like yesterday. I remember.
You like nailed everything. We walked out of there and we was like, okay, Ruben, you sent us like, you didn't send us up. You sent the cat.
Man, all respect,
it was
man.
beautiful. It was so beautiful, man. So
all
one
respect.
of our listeners just commented that this is a really nice show. People are listening and they sending comments and they're enjoying your story, man. And
beautiful.
it's really nice that we all have the same goal. We just have different journeys.
Yeah, that's what happens, because sometimes even we have the same mentality, which happened with other friends of mine. We go like this, because that's what the word. I mean, you can even fight the word, but the word always gonna have a way for you, a path.
Oh, yeah.
That's how my man, bass player, good friend of mine, the guy who played with the memories, the guy who played with Fellowship. What is it? Christopher Thomas. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We were talking. CT. Yeah, we have a nice conversation a couple years ago, and man, he said very clear, because I always love that cat too, the way he is as a human being, besides being a bass player. So, and he just very clear. Said, well, sometimes you probably anticipate your path, but life will have a path for you. So
life will have a path for you. Yeah.
And I was thinking that too. So every time I see it, I say, man, thank you for that. Man.
It's about living. It's about living and being true to yourself. So that being said, you shared a lot of your information with our audience, but I think we should let them hear some of your music.
Let's do it.
All right. So this song is entitled "Living" by Ricky Rodríguez. Let's check it out. Yeah, Ricky.
Thanks, man.
That's a good one with an Elvinish,
You
slow
got it.
medium swing, man. One of our listeners said, "Love the bass, love the horn, great arrangement."
Thank you, Lucy. Yeah, you got it. In the bass, in the drum track, I put I like Elving.
Exactly, exactly. Ala Elvin is funny. Oh, John Benitez.
Hey, John. Thank you for joining us, man.
This is word. But it's funny, man. Once you've done your research and studied the music, same thing you were saying that David shared with know your folklore and all of that. It's easy when you go into rehearsal and you could just say, "Hey, this song is Ala Tony or Ala." When I hear somebody say Ala Blakey, I think shuffle. When I hear Elvin, I think
That's true.
triplets. Tony is more 8 notes, 16 note feel, a straighter feel. It's like, it comes with doing your homework. And this tune, coming from where you come from, you shouldn't be able to swing like that. You shouldn't be able to swing like that, but you're swinging hard, bro.
Oh man, thank you. Look at my
I'm
Rodriguez.
messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you.
Oh man, so it's
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 great.
hard, man. It's a lot of love, and
Beautiful, beautiful, man. So let me ask you this, Livin, who's on that track?
in that track, it's like on drums, it's Ove Calver on drums.
Oh,
We
okay.
have Luis Perdomo on acoustic piano, and the incredible Adam Rogers on electric guitar, Myron Walden on alto saxophone, and David Sanchez on tenor.
Yeah,
and
nice.
you're truly is on double bass and composition.
Beautiful. I'm enjoying it, man. Well, listen, let's keep moving on because you have some wonderful music and everybody's enjoying this. Your next song is Introspection. Let's check it out. Yeah, man, that's introspection. That's a nice vibe. I like that.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, very introspective. That's what our listener said. I, my, me, mine, loving it.
Thank you, Zoe.
That's
Yeah,
that's the same band.
the same band. Without David, it's basically more like quintet vibe there. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah, but yeah, a lot of those music, man, was written through all years. It's basically it's my anniversary living 10 years in New York, because basically the record was recorded. I moved to New York in 2005, so the record, it was in 2015, but the label get out and the next year. So it's basically I'm celebrating 10 years of living in this city, and travel around the world. So every track have a meaning, which is, we're gonna need another show to describe every time. It's a behind title, every there's a behind meaning in every title. So which is when I tell the people, it get it more like, oh wow, I get it now. So yeah, every tune, every track have a meaning under. So yeah.
Yeah, which it should, because you're just not writing to write. You have inspiration coming out of you, and you document it through your songs, and so the audience wants to hear that story behind. And again, this is very introspective. So
Thank you, man. Yeah.
so let's check out the next one, Looking Beyond.
All right.
Mm. beautiful, man. Very beautiful.
Oh man, thank you. Wow.
All of your songs, take you on a sound journey. It's really nice to follow the musical journey that you have presented. Thank you.
Glad that you like it.
Yeah. And we got some listeners out there. Hi, Ricky and Dion. Oh, that's Annette. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of musicians, man. They were like tuning,
Yeah.
musicians that we know, So that's great. That's great.
Came to check you out, man. Beautiful stuff, man. You're doing an amazing job, Ricky, and I really want to thank you. We're out of time, unfortunately, so that means we have to have you back because we didn't even get to all of your stuff, man. You know,
it's so all right, man.
We have to have you back and add to your story. Talk about where you've performed and where you've been, and all amazing musicians that you played with, but also to check out some more of your music. So tell our audience again the name of your recording, when it came out, and where they can find it.
The record is entitled Looking Beyond, and it's under the label Destiny Records. So I'm pretty sure you can find it on Bandcamp, or if you go to their website, Destiny Records, you can see all the records they've been, putting out, but there you will find mine,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And I would try to bring one for you, next time I see you. I will bring you like a hard copy so you can have it.
Autograph hard copy.
You see, I'm gonna put it here so I don't forget.
Great, man. So
Yeah.
Ricky, man, it's been an honor having you on the show. Just
pleasure, mine.
Just getting to know you some more and hearing your story coming from the Afro-Caribbean diaspora. This platform is designed for us to share information from artists, from that platform, because we have all the music magazines out there that just showcase all of that, but there's so many unsung heroes, and you being a rhythm section player, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So thank you for taking the time, and please let your friends and all your fans know, even if they miss this recording, they can go on YouTube or Facebook and check it out, because it's going to live there as a podcast. So thank you again, awesome. Ricky. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Dion, man. I see you soon, man. Thank you for the lovely invitation.
You're more than welcome. All the best, man. That was the one and only Mr. Ricky Rodríguez, and we're very, very we had a great time with him. Very, very happy that he was able to get time out of his busy schedule to come and join us, because he's as you could tell, he's really in demand. And we have musicians from all over the place. So our next guest next week is thank you, Maria. Thank you for joining us and supporting. We really appreciate you. Our next guest next week is a gentleman, hails from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, trombonist, and he's the current chair director of jazz studies at the Duke Ellington School of Music in Washington, D.C., and he's doing amazing things, have a very unique sound. So please join us next week as we present to you the one and only Mr. Reginald Sinchi. All right. Thank you for joining us for this week's episodes of Sounds of the Diaspora. My name is Dion Parson, and it's been an honor and a pleasure hanging out with you guys tonight. Take care. All the best.
JBH Boutique Care offers you a unique exclusive membership in our nationwide concierge medical services network. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Judine Bontemps-Hill. I'm double board certified in family and obesity medicine. We pair exclusive personalized care with accessibility and convenience. A better way for you to receive immediate quality medical care. Whether at our main Orlando, Florida office, traveling across the U.S. or visiting the States, we bring you the best medical care without waiting for an appointment. Become a member today by calling 407-234-5282 or visit us online at jbhmeg1.com. JBH Boutique Care is proud to sponsor Sounds of the Diaspora, music and conversations with artists, and host Dion Parson, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Source TV Radio Network, WTSN, Washington, D.C.